proud members of the Podbelly Podcast Network. Lockdown 2020.
I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
Welcome back, friends. Episode, 98? But I'm just going to go ahead and call this Lockdown episode number 2. So, thanks for coming back. For those of you who use iTunes, my apologies. I've been having some issues with them, but hopefully everything's back to normal now. So I am here. You have me, yay, in my locked down, COVID-free house, or maybe not. Who knows? And I'm here with our old friend Brett. What's up, Brett?
Hi. Well, it's kind of hard to get anyone else since we live together.
I know. So it's either Tim and Brett, or it's you get JB and Tim doing remote audio over the phone, or we're doing Skype calls. So we're here hanging out at the house. We just did a little masked grocery shopping. It's kind of cool. Going grocery shopping is kind of like going to a Halloween party now.
I know, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like cosplay.
Right? What are we drinking tonight?
Hard Fresco Brewing Company. It is their Sparkling Guava Citrico. It's beer with natural flavor.
Hecho en la Ciudad de Mexico. Desde 2013. Must be 21 plus.
Not bad.
So this is beer? Is it like a sour beer?
Doesn't taste like beer at all. It tastes kind of like just a fruit beverage of some sort.
Oh, look, it's got chunks.
That's how you know it's good.
That's how you know it's good. All right.
Extra pulpy.
It's a pulpy beer. We're drinking Fresco pulpy beer. Hey, you know what? It's delicious, and we're locked in our house, so we don't even care.
Tastes nice.
Actually, we're not locked in our house. We're just talking about how this lockdown thing. So yeah,
we are locked in our house because
we are
you
locked
lock
in our
the
house
door
right now.
Yeah,
currently. Yeah, and we have these sweet N95 net masks. Thanks, Dad. But we like to wear more fun masks. So like, I got this mask. It's like one of those like neck half face cover things with like a skull on it. Brett has like some Middle Eastern head wrap that makes him look like a ninja.
Yeah, that I got from Egypt back in October.
Yeah.
And when this whole mask thing started, I'm like, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. That's retarded. And then I thought, I'm like, oh, wait. This is the only time in life I'll probably be able to wear this.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
I was hoping I would get weird looks, but nobody cared when I walked in the store. I was just like everyone else. It was unfortunate. And then I also have a random, like, surgical style mask that has basically a giant toothed grin from an anime called Tokyo Ghoul for anybody of you.
It's kind of cool looking. Yeah. I think the guy at the checkout at the store we were just at, what did he call you? Smiley or something?
Oh yeah. I'm like, he's like, how's your day going? I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, how's your day going? He's like, Smiley. I'm like,
yeah, Smiley.
Smiley.
I was like, you didn't comment on my creepy skull mask. What the fuck, dude?
Nah, he sees it.
I know. Anyways. So welcome back. If you guys are listening to this anytime around the time that it comes out, then you are probably enjoying or crawling up the walls, being locked down or sheltering at home as well. So we're here to talk about that.
Or if you're an alien race that is visiting our kind planet many, many moons into the future and stumbling upon somebody's hard drive or server and listening to this.
Well, yeah.
Welcome.
And in case you need some context, we are currently in the middle of a pseudo, I'm going to call it a pseudo pandemic. Sure. Because why not? And we'll just call it an overreaction to a real pandemic. But this isn't that kind of podcast. This is the podcast where we tell you know what? I think everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
As the more that we get into this, the more it seems like obviously there's been some loss and that's sad, and I'm not trying to discount that. But also, there's been a lot of other losses, probably more so. Paige, what are you doing? Sorry,
she's trying to dig.
The dog
into her
is
pillow.
trying to dig to China. Paige, you don't want to go there.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. You don't want to go there. Oh, now you're okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, I totally lost my train of thought here. Oh, yeah, but then there's also people who are experiencing loss from things that are more results of the reaction that was taken and the actions that were taken. So,
Economically,
jobs, depression, can't pay your bills, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's been interesting, but whatever hardship you're facing, I know it's new territory, it's uncharted waters, but you know what? I think that, we talked about it last week with, by the way, shout out to We're Not Sure Yet podcast with Liz and Cheyenne. Those girls are awesome. If you listen to our last episode, they were on with us, with JB and I. And if you go check out their episode, I think it should be called We're Not Sure About Project Reclamation. I'm not entirely sure when it's going to come out, but that's kind of a fun one. They asked JB and I a lot of rapid fire questions. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thanks, girls. You're welcome to come back on here anytime. And I guess this is also a good time to give a shout out to our wonderful podcast network, the best podcast network in all the land, in all the multiverse, Podbelly Podcast Network. So go check it out, podbelly.com. Go pig out on podcasts. So Brett,
delicious pigs.
Delicious pigs. Pigs are delicious. We've eaten a lot of pigs lately.
We have.
We've put pigs in the slow cooker. We've done a lot of bacon.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the flour method of bacon, by the way?
I don't think it's better or worse than doing it regularly. It's just different.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like it, but it's like it's one of those things where if I remember to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But it's not like as life-changing as I was expecting. It's still delicious. It seems like more of an occasion thing. Also, we don't normally have flour around in the house because we don't bake.
No, we really don't.
So.
And we try not to eat flour. But so context to what the hell we're talking about. I was watching, for any of you who aren't familiar with, there's a dude who I believe he's had a cooking show forever. And then I believe he migrated his cooking show to YouTube a while back. His name he calls himself Sam the Cooking Guy. He's a San Diego dude. He owns I think 2 restaurants in San Diego. But he's been doing a cooking show and now YouTube show forever. And they're really good. They're short enough where you can learn how to cook something. And some of his stuff is educational, easy to use. And then he does other ones where he just recreates stuff from restaurants, especially fast food, but makes it better. He does one with he makes a Wagyu Big Mac and he makes a freaking, I don't know, all kinds of cool stuff. So simple stuff, not so simple stuff. But I kind of really got turned on because he did turned on to his show. Well, let's make that clear.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes good food does
Would you
turn
say
me
you're
on.
Sexually attracted to Sam the Cooking Guy?
I mean, he's a good looking dude.
Yeah.
He's got charisma.
I'm more sexually attracted to his kitchen equipment.
Yes, 100%. That flat top grill
is awesome.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But anyways, he did a whole series of he called them lockdown munchies.
Send him the
and it was really
soundbite.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool with the lockdown munchies because and that was I watched all of his lockdown munchie episodes and then I just went down this rabbit hole. Brett, how many episodes of Sam the Cooking Guy do you think I've watched?
I don't know.
Probably.
His entire library, maybe some over again, because I know that you sat me down to watch a few other ones.
We did make his chicken fried steak though, and that was fucking delicious.
It was
chicken fried steak with bacon gravy.
Yes.
Oh, that was life changing.
Yes.
So anyways, one of the things he does. Lockdown munchies. I recommend you go check it out. It's kind of cool because he picks one food. Hey, you got chicken in your freezer? Make a bunch of chicken, and then here's 4 different things you can do with it, And then the next episode's ground beef. You got ground beef? Cool. Make a bunch of ground beef, and here's 4 or 5 things you can do with it. So those are great.
You got a dead body? No.
You got a dead body? Yeah, never mind. So those are great. But one thing he does is he's like I learned this bacon cooking method. So what he does is he coats the bacon, just not coats it. There's no egg wash involved. Just sort of
he dusts it
with flour and then cook it in the oven on a rack. One thing I've noticed about it doesn't change the taste much at all.
No, it adds a more of a textural component.
Yeah, but it definitely the bacon gets crispy but retains more of its size. That's what I've noticed the biggest difference is.
It almost reminds me of like, well, I know I didn't have like, I would like to just try a straight flour one because I know the one that you did had seasoning and stuff,
I
which was
added
good.
stuff to it.
But I want to try a plain flour one to like get my baseline to see what it's about because I feel even though the one that you made is delicious with the seasoning and stuff and it adds like smoky qualities or whatever, but I feel for me to get like a baseline to make my full on decision whether or not it's worth it to do it or is I need to try just plain old flour.
I think it's just another tool in your arsenal. You know?
It kind of like the only thing I could like compare it to is like it gave me a reminiscent of like the crust on fried chicken, not as thick, but like the
just a hint
of that taste of like that like cooked coating kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, if you're bored and cooking is something you enjoy, or you just enjoy watching other people cook, go check out Sam the Cooking Guy. Yeah. Sam the Cooking Guy, if you'd like to be on our show, I'd love to have you. Let's see. What are some other things I've been watching? Oh, you know what? I highly recommend if you need a smile in your life or you want to watch something like, first of all, I think we told you guys last episode, like just turn off the news. Like read what you need to read, but like don't get wrapped up in all the panic and all the bullshit because it's not going to do you any good.
If it leads, it bleeds.
If it bleeds, it leads. Yeah, exactly. So like turn off all that and like just find other stuff to watch and to do. Like, John Krasinski. You might know him as Jim from The Office, or he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in 13 Hours. Everyone loves John
Jack
Krasinski.
Ryan.
Oh, and Jack Ryan.
Great show.
And I believe he produced and directed A Quiet Place, and I think number 2 was supposed to come out, I think, during this whole thing, but I think
I don't know if it was supposed to come out.
Well, it's supposed to come out soon.
Yeah,
Who knows how it'll come out. But he has a show on YouTube that he started when this whole thing started called SGN or Some Good News. And it's really good. Like he has a lot of listeners watchers, I guess. They send in like stories and he connects with a lot of like frontline, like healthcare workers. And he just does a lot of really cool stuff. Like he got a hold of the COVID unit at some Boston hospital and they're all big Red Sox fans. So he like Zoomed with them and he got Big Poppy. What is his name? Freaking
Puff Daddy?
Big Poppy. No, he's from the Red Sox.
I thought Biggie Smalls was dead.
Anyways, dude, I'm drawing a huge blank right now. Anyways, he got him to come on the Zoom with them too, and he gave them some season tickets. Very cool. So yeah, he took care of them. They were super stoked. And he just, I don't know, it's just kind of a feel-good thing. It's probably like half an hour. There's 4 or 5 episodes. Then he threw a prom for all the people who can't have prom in the whole country or the world. Like it was like a Zoom prom.
A Zoom prom?
It was really cool, yeah.
Nobody could talk because there were 5 billion people on Zoom.
No, I don't think he showcased people's like dancing and stuff, but the only people that got to talk were him and like Rainn Wilson called in and he was doing that, and then he had like the Jonas Brothers. He had a bunch of people come and like call in and perform. So it was really cool. Anyways, just a little something to kind of like, I don't know, make you smile, give you some little good news. Because we like good news on this show.
True. All the other celebrities are just trying to make it seem like they're normal people. I'm like, look at me in my mansion.
Yeah.
We're in it together, guys.
Social distancing. I'm just like you on my 80-foot yacht or 800-foot yacht.
Look at me social distance on my private jet.
A lot of celebrities have tried really hard to seem like they're like the regular people.
Yeah.
And they have tried. I think they're trying desperately to stay relevant in this time.
That's the only thing.
And I think a lot of them that have tried too hard have failed miserably and fallen on their face.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's hilarious, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But that's why I love someone like Krasinski. What he's doing, like, yeah, there's a little pandering there, but he's not trying to say, look, I'm just like you. He's highlighting people who really are just like us. And I think that's the coolest thing because he's really giving the spotlight to normal people, and he's not like he brought his friends on to do stuff for these people who were having their quote unquote prom. But I don't know. I just really like his approach to it. And there's a ton of other people like him. Good stuff.
Yeah. You have to stay away from the humans who are trying to be human because they're probably reptilians.
They are probably reptilians.
They're probably reptilians.
100%.
Yes.
I mean, there's fucking reptile people everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
starting to warm up, guys, because it's summer.
So they're going to come out more.
Yeah, they're coming out more. Yeah,
and they don't sweat. I heard.
Yeah, apparently,
that's like that whole thing with what's his name, Prince Andrew, when he's like,
I don't sweat.
I have a disorder and I don't sweat. Oh yeah, you know what else doesn't sweat? Reptiles.
And hippos actually too. But
oh really?
Yeah, that's why they live.
Is that why they have to live in the water?
Yeah, they don't have sweat glands.
That's so weird. Well, you know what? Most
Neither
animals don't. Dogs don't. No. Pigs don't. Well, dogs can sweat.
No, yeah, pigs don't.
Dogs sweat from their nose, and I think maybe the pads of their feet.
I don't know.
Could be wrong about the second one, but definitely their nose.
I'm not a doctor.
But pigs, yeah, that's why they roll in the mud. That's
yes.
like a method to stay cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this is your nature documentary with Tim and Brett. Hey, but you know what though? This is a good time to learn stuff. You know, it's another show that I found recently. Shout out to a colleague of mine, Mario. He was like, dude, I was watching this Aerial America show. I'm like, Aerial America? What is that? That sounds awesome. He's like, well, I don't know. It's just a show where they have like helicopter drone footage and they teach you about whatever state they're showcasing.
Aerial America. It's like Ariel from The Little Mermaid who's teaching you about shit about different parts.
It's a redheaded mermaid teaching you about America.
By all the shit she keeps in her cave.
Right. This is who's a what's it? What's it?
Doodads and trinkets of what's it's and butts it's.
Yeah.
Is that a dildo in the corner, Ariel?
What is it? What is fire? And what's it called? Burn. There's a gonorrhea joke in there somewhere.
I don't know.
Anyways, sorry, Mom. But so yeah. So those are a couple of things we've been. Oh, so Aerial America. Sorry, I have like squirrel brain today. Aerial America is super cool. It's on the Smithsonian Channel if you have cable. If you don't, a lot of the episodes are on YouTube. Just go check it out. Basically, they highlight a state, and it's just like an hour of like really awesome drone footage of whatever state, and they give you like a big history lesson, and like they just teach you all about that state.
Did you know that in 1904 in Florida, such and such of whatever built this?
Then did you know that? I learned. I watched Florida was the first one I watched. I learned all about the orange business. The citrus business in Florida. And then I learned how the downtown Miami area and all of its wealth was built on cocaine money, which wasn't a surprise. I already knew that. But
speaking of Miami, I did see a random article on Reddit saying that I think it was Miami has gone 7 weeks without a murder since 1950 something.
Like that's the longest they've gone without a murder.
Yeah, since 1950, like 7 or some shit.
That's hilarious. I saw people sent me a bunch of memes about like Florida man gets eaten by alligator and then dies of coronavirus, or like Florida man gets eaten by shark and then dies of coronavirus. Yeah, all the fun stuff happens in Florida.
You know why that is, right?
No.
Oh, really? So everyone thinks that Florida people are just crazier, which I still like to think that they are, because it's more fun that way. But if you want to pull back the veil, the reason why this whole Florida man thing exists is and that's the meaning of life. Thank you for joining us. All of your answers have been solved.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How did I not know that before?
I don't know. Gosh. I don't know.
Anyways.
Just something I read in this book, but you know.
What book was it?
I don't remember.
Oh, dude!
You know, you had
one of those books.
It was one of those books you just immediately forget after you talk about it.
Some guy gave you kind of like the Never-Ending Story, and you opened it up, and it was all blank. But then, like you snuck it away to like some weird attic, and then like words started to appear.
Yeah, and I can't remember how I said. So you know, I hope you guys taped that last part that we talked about because it'll never be talked about again.
Not allowed. Oh. Nice.
That was terrible.
I give that a 2.5. 4.2.
All right.
Now what are we drinking? 10 Barrel Brewing Company Crush Raspberry Sour. I believe they would call that a Kolsch. I don't know. There's a fancy German name for sour beer.
Not bad. It's pretty sour and tangy. And it tastes raspberry.
Kind of right on then.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry.
Back to Florida man.
Yeah.
So the reason why the whole Florida man thing, the whole reason the Florida man thing exists is because Florida has a law called the Sunshine Law, and what that is it basically makes all police records public knowledge. So as soon as they happen. So basically just can like fucking type in all the shit that happened and all the reporters can look into it and find, oh, man tries to have sex with alligator and snapping turtle at the same time and loses genitalia, or, you know,
man on bath salts tries to eat another man's face.
yeah,
If
alligators high on cocaine. No,
that's probably happened. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They probably like someone like they were probably like doing like a drop and they some like a couple kilos ended up in a swamp somewhere. Got a bunch of high alligators.
I forget. Was there a? I don't know if it's true. I'm trying to remember if. What was it? I think there was a story about a bear who that happened to, and they had to put down a wild bear. He got to do it, but they had to like shoot it 1 billion times or something.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. For those of you who don't know, apparently, how does the game go? You type it. Well, there's a lot of ways to play the game, but if you type in like, type in your birthday and like in Florida,
so whatever
this day in Florida,
you can look up the day you were born, what kind of shit went down.
Right, and there's almost always like some story that's like some crazy Florida story that comes up. Because Florida's crazy.
But that's the reason. The Sunshine Law.
But you know what? Florida did give us Bert Kreischer, so thank you for that. We appreciate it. Any of you who haven't watched the Bert Kreischer interviewing Adam Sandler thing, it's only like 5 minutes long. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I kind of feel bad for Bert, but still hilarious.
Also, they brought us the band A Day to Remember. So thanks, guys.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a hardcore band.
All right. So, Brett, what are we talking about here? We're talking about being locked down, new normal.
Try out some new hobbies, man. Maybe.
Yeah? What are you doing? Are you trying out new hobbies? You're playing a lot of Warzone.
I've been catching up on all my video games. I need to catch up on my art, which I should do. I did finish my buddy Matt's like little face thingy that I made for him. That I started in August and said I would make for him.
Hey, you know what? Better late than never.
Never? Yeah, exactly. I still need to finish my watercolor. It's sitting there in the corner. I need to do that. Probably clear off the table and get on that. But I've been playing a lot of video games. I've finished Outer Worlds, which isn't bad. If any video game listeners are out there, it's kind of like if Fallout and Borderlands and BioShock had a baby, a little tucked in there. It's a fun little time waster. And then I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone with my buddies. That's a fun little one.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't play video games, but I'm about ready to bust out that GTA 5.
Yeah.
Have you played it yet?
Very little.
Okay. Because literally, I think Grand Theft Auto is the only like modern video game I've played, and that's only because I lived with a dude in college who had, I want to say it was a PS2 at the time.
San Andreas.
No, Vice City. And that's like I played the shit out of that game, and that game was so much fun. So much fun.
I also have, I guess this would be a good time to actually do it. I got it like 2 or 3 Christmases ago. It was a Raspberry Pi with like the little 3D printed NES. So you can basically just make an emulator, and it came with controllers and all that shit. So I should probably make that and just throw it out here so you have something to do.
We should. So I have something to do because, I'll be honest, I'm running out of fucking TV shows to watch.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked because I know I like it more than Brett, but for anybody who like has like a Game of Thrones itch that needs to be scratched, my buddy turned me on to a show called The Last Kingdom.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like it. It's like 12, like around the 12th century, something like that.
Yes, it is during
the UK.
During the
Viking invasion, basically.
Yes, but it's during the, what would you call that?
Oh.
When a country comes together to be one country instead of a bunch of warring factions, unified. Thank you.
Yeah, the unification of but basically, England, it's basically the what do they call? They don't call themselves Vikings.
Saxon or no the
what do the Vikings call themselves?
They're just
no. They have a
Norse. They're not Vikings. They don't call themselves Vikings.
No, they don't call themselves Vikings. That's what I'm saying. What? It's not Norse. They have a word for it.
Norwegian? I don't know what their
because they're not
their language is, man.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Northmen.
It's basically about the Vikings and the Saxons fighting for power, and your main character is a dude named Uhtred, who may or may not be based. So it doesn't have all the magic, and it's not fantasy like Game of Thrones, but It's more like historical fiction, but it's got all of the action and the storyline and kind of like the political kind of like medieval politics and stuff, and it's pretty good. I would check it out. But yeah, season 4 comes out as we're recording this. I believe season 4 comes out tomorrow. So that's cool. I'm excited. Also, I think a movie came out a few days ago called Robert the Bruce, which is essentially a sequel to Braveheart. So if you enjoyed Braveheart, I believe they got some of the same producer, director type people and at least the same actor who played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart, and probably a lot of the other same actors.
Don't mind that he's like 30 years older.
No shit, right? Dude, like legitimately 30 years older.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what the timeline is, but I know it takes place like I believe shortly after.
I would assume
like
it's
Braveheart ends,
after,
probably
because isn't the whole point Robert the Bruce was like part of the whole freeing Scotland and
I
shit?
believe so. Yeah, I think he was like the main guy who like carried the torch after William Wallace. Kind of like William Wallace basically broke the doors down. And then Robert the Bruce came in, although
who may or may not
have actually existed.
There's that too, but then also there's the theory. Well, they have the Wallace sword. I forget where it is. It's either in the Tower of London or somewhere else. Somewhere in the UK, they have what they quote unquote William Wallace's sword. They don't know if they say it is, but it's not. They can't verify because shit's been replaced and this and that. But
yeah,
the legend is that I forget. They actually burned it or got rid of it. So I forget which battle it was from, but it was an English lord who he battled on some battle of a bridge or something, and he killed the main commander, and he skinned him and made a coin purse out of his nuts and a sword scabbard out of his skin.
He must have not had a lot of coins, or that dude had a really big nutsack.
Yeah. I mean, you stretch it out,
That's
depending
true.
on what,
Stretching and tanning. I
Yeah.
feel like human flesh is pretty weak.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's more the, this can only hold 2 coins, but it's more it's the principle of the matter.
Also, it's like a legend. They don't know if it's technically true or not.
Who freaking knows?
Yeah.
So those are a couple of things I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
This is basically an episode about how to keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
Try some new hobbies.
If you're looking for a show you haven't watched, it's on Netflix. It's 3 seasons. I got back into it. If you like British shows, it is a murder mystery whodunit with one of the Doctor Who's. I forget his name, the Scottish one. A few times back. Something. Anyway, it's called Broadchurch. If you like that type of stuff, it's good. It's good. Whodunit. It's a good one.
I need to check it out.
We both watched the new Pixar movie. What was it called again?
Onward.
Onward.
That was great. I loved it.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It was a good feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Good, solid family values.
Yeah.
Good kind of, It was solid. It was
some D&D references in there.
There's a lot of D&D kind of stuff in there. It's about a time when magic still exists, but nobody uses it anymore. Nobody really remembers it. But centaurs and trolls and orcs. What are the main characters? Who are they? Oh,
they're elves.
Elves. Yeah. Oh yeah. So they all kind of live together in harmony, but it's kind of like modern times, like cell phones and all that stuff. But your main 2 characters they're brothers, and it's what's his name? Spider-Man. Tom
Hardy?
No,
the
other guy. God, I'm stupid.
I'm really bad with names.
Anyways, it's Chris Pratt plays the older brother, and the newest Spider-Man plays the younger brother. It's great. It's good. It's a good feel-good movie. You might get a little misty at parts, but hey, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Tom Holland, that's his name.
Thank you.
Tom Holland.
Found it quicker than I could look it up.
I didn't find it. I found it in my head.
All right. Well, that's still finding it.
I dug around in the dusty archives of my own head.
Right.
It's funny. I mean, this is also a great time for good memes. Now, I don't know. It's also, here's a weird one. It's a time when you have friends you could have sworn you could send anything to, no matter how horrible or inappropriate. But now you kind of have to gauge a little bit, because people who were cool with inappropriate shit 6 months ago may get offended now. Have you noticed this at all?
That actually happened with me and my buddy. I made a joke, and apparently I missed once or twice, and I'm like, oh, I thought I would get a laugh normally, but you miss.
It didn't land
you win
correctly?
Some, you win some, you lose some. It was also through text. But,
yeah, text kind of loses some tonality, but it is what it is. But I guess my message is, take everything with a grain of salt. Like, people are just trying to survive. And like, if you're the person who didn't land the joke, like, don't be mad that your friend didn't. Like, if your friends are a little bit more sensitive, they're just a little scared, probably. Yeah. And you know what? Be respectful of that. Yeah. And if you are the person who's finds yourself a little bit less humorful than you used to be, take a step back, check things out. But that's respectful too. I mean, they're weird times, and you have every right to be scared, and you have every right to pretty much respond to all this bullshit, no matter how you want. Like, for me, I kind of have to, I think Brett and I kind of, I don't know, maybe, I think you agree with me on this. Like, we're more like, I feel like I'm watching a movie, and like, I'm watching all this stuff unfold, but at the same time, I feel like on a second screen, I'm getting what I think to be more of the real information. And so I kind of like add the two up, and I'm like, you know what? I get it, but I'm not super panicky about any of it.
No.
I understand people that are.
Yeah. It's okay to be scared, guys, but it's also okay not to be scared. And you can trust me. I'm a guy on the internet.
Anything on the internet's true, man. It's cool.
I think honestly, like when it comes to any type of news thing, like regardless of what, I don't care if it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC, PB, well, it doesn't matter what. Everyone has bias, but then
turn all that shit off.
But I mean, all the things that come with it, they're really only telling you. How do I explain it?
They're telling you the story, but spinning it and keeping they're editing it.
You have to understand that no matter where you get your news, there's always going to be bias because everyone's biased. It's impossible to have unbiased opinion on something.
If you want something with no agenda, I recommend listening to probably. I think I've gone months without listening to it, but it's the first podcast I started listening to, and I always come back to it, and I think it is the most valid source for news. And if you get 6 hours a week, but then also if you look at their show notes, there is dozens and dozens of hours of every show that you could dig into the videos and stuff they talk about. But it's a podcast called No Agenda with a guy named Adam Curry, who they call the Podfather because he is literally the
guy who invented podcasting.
I would say kind of in a roundabout way, but not even in a roundabout way. Like even he was on Joe Rogan, who I think undoubtedly has the most popular podcast in the world. Mm. And he credits him with starting podcasting. So yeah, Adam Curry, legit. If you're as old or older than Brett and I, you probably remember him as a VJ from like the early 90s on MTV. Oh no,
earlier than that, 80s, bro.
80s? Yeah, whatever. Like he was one of the early
He was there
when
VJs. MTV started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and he bought MTV.com.
Yeah,
because he saw this whole that domain names would be a big thing before they were. So he bought MTV. He bought a bunch. That was how he made a bunch of money at first, more so than MTV. Was he bought a bunch of these .com names, domain names, and he ended up selling them back to MTV and a bunch of other people. For a lot of money.
So he tried getting into the helicopter business, aviation business, and went bankrupt.
He had a ton of money, so he spent all his money. He bought a huge house. He bought 2 helicopters. So, anyways, he's a really cool guy. Go if you want an introduction to Adam Curry, just go listen to he was on Joe Rogan not long ago. I think it was like early March or late February.
Yeah, it was in. I think it was
right around my birthday.
To late February.
I think it was March 3rd. I think it was right around my birthday.
Something like that.
Yeah. So anyways, go check that episode out. But then go listen to their podcast. It's him and John Dvorak, and they have, I would call them both probably libertarians, but they're very, very logical, and their podcast is called No Agenda because they literally have no agenda. And what they do is they break down all of the major news stories, all of the major news reports and how they're reported, and they break down what's real, what's bullshit. And you legitimately get the best, like, non-biased reporting of what's going on.
I would say it's up there, yes. But also, I would also say this.
It's a good start.
No matter who it is, even them, as far as like, it doesn't matter because human beings, we all have bias against something.
Yeah.
So as far as you can when you find out information, except like unless it's true science or whatever, or something like, you know what I mean. But as far as what people are talking about, you know, you have to look into it to yourself to actually form your own opinion. But it's easier just to be like, oh, this headline, 4 sentences. I hate that person. Bah. It's easier just to have someone,
or to be like, oh my God, this happened because that's what the headline said, and you didn't even read the story.
It's like, well, did you read and why that happened? Or
headlines are the original clickbait. Like that's clickbait from 40 years ago. That was clickbait before I was even born.
Extra.
Yeah, because like you said earlier, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, look, if you're gonna look at something, you got to look at everything, or look at a bunch of different things. But if you want to get enough news or enough stuff from one place, No Agenda is probably a good place to start.
Don't be afraid to step out of your own shoes and look at it from the other side.
If you're a Fox person, go read a few articles from MSNBC or CNN. I know it's gonna make you want to punch a wall, probably, and vice versa. If you're a CNN guy or gal, or you're an MSNBC person, go get some news from Fox News, and guess what? The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. That's why I generally disagree with people when I talk about things, because even if I agree with them, because it annoys me that having a one-sided conversation because it's not interesting.
Right.
So I'm just like, I'm going to argue the alternative even though I agree with you, because it'll be more fun and we'll both learn something.
Well, yeah. Like anyone who's like, Trump's a white hat, Trump's great, Trump's God, I'll argue with that person.
Yeah.
But anyone's like, I hate Trump, we need to get him out of office. Like, I'll argue with that person too.
Yeah.
And then there's people who are like, well, I really hope Trump gets reelected because that's going to be the best thing for the price of my house. I'm like, I respect that.
Yeah.
That's probably legit.
I mean, it would be interesting. It'd be kind of funny. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't really care that much.
I don't even know like how we got onto this topic, but
I don't know.
We're just going down lots of rabbit holes on the same topic, basically.
What do they call that? Something of thought. Train of thought. Yeah, train of thought.
Train of thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking stream of consciousness.
Oh, stream of consciousness, actually. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Stream of consciousness.
Stream of consciousness. I believe that was originally referred to a form of poetry writing where you just literally write whatever comes to mind. And you just sort of let it go. Yeah. Let it go.
Like Elsa from Frozen.
Let it go.
Like Elsa from Frozen and that bitch from Titanic.
Yeah. That door was definitely big enough for 2 people, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you, Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
Jack didn't need to die.
Seriously.
You'd have to kill Leo.
And it was in the teens. People were smaller back then, so you definitely would have been able to do that.
Yeah. And let's be honest, it was really just a giant insurance fraud murder plot by JP Morgan in the first place.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's quite possible.
If you like conspiracy theories, that's a really good one to look into. It's also very possible the Titanic wasn't even the Titanic.
Yeah,
it was the Olympic.
The Olympic. Yeah.
It was the Olympic, most likely, not the Titanic. Anyways, they just swapped out all the logos and painted it different. So so there was two ships. They were identical, the Titanic and the Olympic. And there's quite a bit of evidence that speaks to that they actually, when the Titanic was what was supposed to be sailing out, they sent out the Olympic because it was already damaged, and JP Morgan swapped him out for the insurance money because him and a bunch of his buddies were supposed to be on that voyage, and they all backed out last minute. But then all the other people who were in that kind of like decision-making powerhouse of the elite who disagreed with him on the Fed, they were all on there, and they all died.
How convenient.
Very convenient. So it's not a conspiracy theory podcast, but hey, you know what? We all have time to research this kind of stuff right now. So if you're interested in conspiracy theories, I recommend going and checking some out. Dig in. If you're not, then you know what? Don't, because it's just going to drive you crazy. And there's no reason to.
It's fun.
It's fun for us, but for people who it shatters their reality and blows their mind, there's no point.
Yeah. See, here's the thing: you just
some
kind
people
of have
can't
to
handle it, and they don't, and that's fine. I have no problem with that.
It's okay to believe in some of them. This is where I'll tell you, like, if you got to pull back, if you get to the point where conspiracy theories are all great. I don't know why this happens. Let me tell you a little story, actually. So I went to Portugal with my girlfriend, and this was 2 years ago. And we went to Centra, and we took an Uber back to I forget the name of the place. Starts with an L. Lisbon, whatever the main part of Portugal is.
Portugalese city.
Yeah, exactly. So we took an Uber, and me and the Uber guys started talking because I usually just like, I'll be nice and cordial to an Uber driver, and if I feel like they don't want to talk, I won't talk with them. If they want to talk, we'll talk. And me and this guy started clicking. We're just like talking about video games, anime, podcasts, all the stuff. And my girlfriend is over in the passenger seat and just like looks at me and just like, you're so
rolling her eyes.
Yeah, it's just like, you're so fucking happy. And this I'm like, yeah, I am. And we're just going, and we're almost done with the drive. We're like 5 minutes from our destination, and then we get into conspiracy theories, and we're just going this, boom, boom. It's like, yeah, what about this? It's like 9/11, lizard people. Yeah, this is fun. And then all of a sudden, and then he says, like, yeah, tell me why there weren't any Jews in the fucking towers when they went down. And I'm just like, Ooh. And let me, and I didn't tell you some prudent information before telling you this. My girlfriend is Jewish. And once that happened, I just got quiet, and I looked over to my girlfriend over in the passenger seat. I didn't say it out loud. I just mouthed to her and was like, I'm so sorry. Because what you don't know about conspiracy theories, for some odd and unknown reason, once you go deep enough, everything goes back to the Jews and gets really anti-Semitic, and I had to explain that to her. She just thought it was funny. We described.
That's not necessarily.
Well, hold on,
true.
let me finish. And then like we described that as I was like, yeah, remember that Uber drive that was like 90% awesome, and the last 10% got a little bit racist. Yeah. And we just got out of the car and left, and because we were on the freeway when he said that, I'm just like, all right, well, I don't. I would love to defend your honor and your people right now, but we're on the freeway, and I'm not sure what this guy wants to do or how he feels. So we're just going to stop talking.
So I disagree with you. Although there are a lot of people.
No, if you go, no. I'm saying if you go deep enough in the sense of like, I'm saying the people, what is it? Nietzsche said, when you stare into the abyss, it stares back at you.
Yeah.
So those people who stared into the abyss too far, they like that.
Kind of like any dumb argument. If it goes far enough, someone's going to call someone Hitler.
Yeah. Kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
No, I'm not giving credence to those people who think it was all the Jews' fault. I'm giving it to I'm saying just like, for some reason, most conspiracies that you go into end up coming to that for some reason.
Well, you also have, there is a Jewish elite, just like there's an American elite, and there's an elite of every culture and every country who I think do some nefarious shit, just like American elite, or the Illuminati or whatever, pick your thing. But I think there are some terrible people when you get to the top of the people in power, period.
Yeah.
But I don't see, me personally, I can separate the person from like what they claim to be.
Yes.
Like,
no, I'm just saying.
But I get what
if you go to the dark like,
right, you get a lot of like Zion elitist.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, dude, just like, and it's okay. If you take any conspiracy theory deep enough with an ignorant person, it ends up with blaming the Jews.
Yes,
let's go there.
I'm just saying,
like if you take any.
Me or you will get to that point. We'll laugh, but there's a lot of people just be like, "Oh man's the man."
Well, I think that's the mindset you need to take with conspiracy theories. Like I'm open to a lot of stuff, but I'm also willing to like. I'm intrigued in even ones I think are stupid because I'm just intrigued. I want to hear where they go.
Well, it's fun.
It is fun.
Lizard people
for me,
are
it's
fun.
but for people who. But if it stresses you out, like, don't go down those rabbit holes because it's not worth it, because it's going to stress you out a whole hell of a lot more. Like one of our good friends, he's very conspiratorial.
I treat it like entertainment.
And his his wife doesn't necessarily appreciate how his brain works all the time.
This is JB.
Yeah. So
this guy I know who might also be one of the members of the podcast.
Well, I didn't want to call her out because like she's down for a lot of stuff, but she's not as deep in the paint as JB.
That's fine. My girlfriend isn't either.
But what I'm saying is, I think because lately they've both, like, she's been working from home. He's been like working, but also home a lot. So I think he's been running a lot of his, like, the shit that in his brain that he shouldn't tell most people. He's been telling her, and she just doesn't want to hear it. So I'm like, dude, JB, that's what I'm for, bro. Just call me. We'll talk about this shit.
Hey, Bay. Did you know that there's Israeli moon bases and reptilians and the Nords? Let me talk about the Nords.
Did you know that this whole COVID thing is really a cover-up because an asteroid is going to hit on April 24th?
1942, because we're going back in time.
Not the 24th. It's Tuesday. What is that? It's 29th?
I don't know. Is there supposed to be an asteroid?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the 29th. We're all going to die.
Nice.
By the way, I don't believe that. So if you're listening to this before the 29th, don't listen to me, please.
I'll be honest, more like I have a morbid curiosity with like if the world is going to end, part of me kind of wants to be there to see it and be like, I was there. Even though I'll be dead, but I'm like, this is what
this probably isn't the right podcast to ask you this question, but so if a meteor were to hit, you have pretty much two choices. You're either in the place where it gets hit and you're going to be incinerated immediately.
Yeah.
Or you're somewhere on the other side of the world where you're going to get thrown into like a 10-year nuclear winter where it's basically going to be The Walking Dead, but maybe without the zombies.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
That's a toughie.
I think a sweet survival situation would kind of be fun. And as I say that, I know I'm probably wrong.
Oh no, it's totally wrong. It'll just be like anything, just like anything. We say like, it'd be cool to be like in the war or this and that. We romanticize war and all that other stuff because we don't know anything about it.
No,
we would romanticize.
You and I would be making jackrabbit stew for the 14th time.
We would romanticize the apocalypse. Yes. It's like, can I have it both ways? I kind of want to see like what it looks like when a giant asteroid hits off miles away, but I don't know.
So the theory is, the smart theory of that one is that they knew about there is some sort of an asteroidic type body that's coming sort of close to the Earth.
Oh,
in the near future.
Then it's not asteroids, bro. It's aliens.
Probably,
obviously.
So, but the smart money lies on that some of this may have had something to do with that. Along like a while back when it was like planned for this. But now that we're a few days away from that whole event.
So what is your thinking? We'll freak them out about a virus so that they'll be like this. And when we tell them about the asteroid, they'll be like, fuck that.
Hey, you know, it'd be really funny.
Asteroid. We're really doing with the coronavirus, bro.
If we made everyone shelter at home, it'd be miserable for the last 2 months of their lives. No, I don't believe it, dude. I think it's bullshit. But see, that's how my brain works. I'm curious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to hear that the world might end. You know, like a lot of people don't want to hear that, and I get it. So I'm not trying to freak you out. But what I'm saying is, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, there's tons of it. So dig in right now because you got nothing better to do. You know what?
You want to get a little crazy? Look at Hollow Earth.
If you're working from home, or maybe unless you're doing a bunch of like interviews, or you have to do a bunch of Zoom calls or WebEx calls for your job. If you're like in your 30s or 20s, or you're an adult and you've always wanted to have a mohawk, but you never have, like now is the time to try having a mohawk. If you wanted to shave your head, literally Brett and I are like a few days away from possibly shaving our heads. Yeah. We might just do it.
And I would just be looking in the mirror in 10 to 15 years from now.
Although with my luck, I'd shave my head and then like the next day they'd be like, hey, COVID's over. Everybody back to work.
Fuck.
And I'm like, I mean, I could pull it off. I'd be fine. But anyway, yeah. Although when we told our friends that, they told us that we'd look like white supremacists and we might as well get like swastika tattoos. I was kind of offended by that.
When I was making Hollow with my girlfriend on a Zoom call on Thursday, I said that over the Zoom call. She looked and was like, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'm like, it would just be me in the future. And she's like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of people who have shaved heads. It's just fine. Look at Bill Burr, Joe Rogan.
Oh, I know. It'll eventually happen. I've accepted it.
Yeah,
there are times when I look at him like, oh, it's unfortunate, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. So video games. Let me see. What have I been doing? I used to make paracord bracelets, and that was fun. And Brett was like, "Hey, man, you should start doing that again." So I did, and I've had some fun with that. I found a new little one that I like to make. It's like a Mad Max style one, and then check this out. We're like, it'd be cool making like paracord dog collars.
Yes.
So I made a dog collar for our girl dog.
The idea months ago.
We had the idea a long time ago. I never did it. It's kind of a bitch because it takes like 10 feet of paracord to make like a bracelet, roughly.
Yeah.
To make a
you
dog collar,
out pretty quick though.
To make a dog collar, it took me forever, and it took like 40 feet of paracord. Still cool though. So yeah, so Paige has a cute little pink camo dog collar. Mm-hmm. So she's rocking it. She's PTFO right now. But yeah, fun stuff. So you know what? Yeah, I mean, just do something. Yeah. Look into a new hobby, like
try that hobby you always want to try.
Like you know what? For me, like I've played the guitar most of my life, but I go years without like even picking it up, and then like I regret it, and then whatever. So I mean, that's something I want to start doing again. I want to pick that up and check it out. Go learn stuff. Listen to podcasts, listen to books on tape. If you like conspiracy theories, go dig in.
I haven't tried it, that I keep seeing commercials for Masterclass. Maybe that's cool. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Try
There's
it
some
out.
cool master classes. Like
There's definitely some cooking ones.
There's a guy
Wolfgang
named
Puck, man.
Chris. Oh, does Wolfgang Puck have one?
Yeah, he does a cooking one. Yeah,
Dude, Les Stroud, Survivor Man.
Yeah?
he has a survivalist.
Oh,
master
really?
Class. That's one I'm totally interested in.
this might be the best time to try that.
Chris Voss, he's like a corporate what do you call consultant in like sales skills. He was an FBI kidnap, ransom, and hostage negotiator for years. So he has all these like negotiation skills that he learned negotiating hostage situations. But he applies that to, and he's like, look, the skills that I've learned, like they apply from everything to like from closing a deal to like negotiating a bedtime with your 8-year-old son or daughter. So like he has a masterclass. So, yeah, so some of these masterclass things are really cool.
I was actually surprised. I remember when it first came out and there were like a few people, but then now I'm seeing some like big names on it, which Deadmau5 has one where he does fucking like music and electronic music and how to do that. I think it was like there's everything: piano, cooking, pretty much any hobby or
That's awesome,
career
dude.
type thing you'd want to go. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much it costs.
Survival.
I don't know how great it is. I mean,
I think you can.
their
I think you
commercials look good.
I think
So
you can watch some of them on YouTube for free too.
probably.
Like I saw Les Stroud's on YouTube.
Oh, you
It was
did?
like a half an hour or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I'm sure that's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I heard they're cool. I definitely heard they're cool. So yeah, I mean, this is a good time to pick up something new. Also, if you're a corporate-y type, not unlike myself, at least I pretend to be, or I kind of am sometimes. But LinkedIn has a lot of really cool stuff, and even a lot of videos.
Oh, the LinkedIn Learning stuff.
Yeah, LinkedIn Learning, and that's all. A lot of that's free, and they, especially if you're someone who's kind of like has a job where normally you're interacting with people like in person, like I am, but you're kind of working from home right now. They have a lot of content about how to be productive working from home.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So there's a lot of, there's so much stuff out there, and there's so much good content, and we talked earlier about, some interesting stuff to watch if you're just going to watch something, like don't focus on the news, but, go watch John Krasinski's show or watch Sam the Cooking Guy or, go rewatch all the Hot Ones episodes.
Go watch Onward.
Go watch Onward,
Try that free month at Disney Plus and see how it is.
Heck yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Or just, use your friends. Sorry, Disney. Don't sue me.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like, if you like medieval shit, go watch The Last Kingdom. If you like British shows, go watch Broadchurch. If you just want to go watch all kinds there's so many weird YouTube things. This morning I watched a ton of it was like it started off with what was it? It was like they have like a professional hunter breaks down hunting scenes from movies and TV shows.
Oh, yeah,
it was like Steve Ranella.
Yeah, I know.
And they had like
I've seen that.
and they had like Cam Haynes break down like, so they have basically
GQ.
I think it's Vanity Fair. It's either
Vanity-
GQ or Vanity. It's one of the two. It doesn't matter.
They both do one.
But yeah, they have a whole thing. It's
yeah.
called The Breakdown. So
Yeah.
like they have some dude, Forrest something. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a bunch of times, but he's like a wildlife expert. So he breaks down a bunch of like scenes that have to do with wildlife in different movies. So
Did you watch
that's
the
cool.
Cameron Haynes one?
I've seen the Cam Haynes
Yeah.
one. I've seen it before, and I've seen I rewatched the Steve Ranella one.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Go learn how to cook, or you know what? Try cooking some stuff. Brett and I have tried a bunch of weird shit. Not even that weird, actually. Not weird at all.
Yeah, last
But, like,
weekend we got drunk off bourbon and made kimchi.
We did. We made some kimchi. We tried it. It's still fermenting, but it's delicious. We were actually thinking about starting a YouTube channel called Getting Fermented with Brett and Tim, where we get drunk and
I think
make
Tim and Brett is better. For some reason, it sounds better. Too.
I was just being humble, and I put you
I
first.
know. I know.
But yeah, we're getting fermented with Brett and Tim, or Tim and Brett, and then basically we just drink because alcohol's fermented.
Exactly.
And then we make fermented foods like kimchi. So right now we have, what do we have in our cupboard? We have a pretty traditional kimchi.
Yeah.
We have a kimchi that's made with 100% daikon radish.
Yeah.
And then we have some spicy carrots fermenting,
yeah.
and some pickled onions fermenting.
Yeah. Have you tried the carrots lately? Not since the last time?
I tried them a few days ago.
Okay. I feel like
Carrots
those
are really
gonna take a
dense.
while.
I think I'm gonna give those like 3 weeks.
I
'cause
wonder
think-
if soaking them in salt beforehand might help. Kind of like, because the daikon,
Yeah.
it's very waterlogged, but the daikon's very hard too.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm wondering if the soaking in salt and then washing afterward helps
Maybe.
speed things
Well,
up.
next time we do the daikons, I think we need to, because they're still pretty salty. I think we need to rinse them afterwards.
Yeah.
But that kimchi, The last kimchi you made was good. This kimchi is better.
Oh yeah,
It's
I would agree.
Definitely legit.
Yeah,
So we might turn that
I think
into a
it could
little
even
TV
take more
show.
spice too. To be
Also,
honest.
we have a friend Daryl who I'm trying to talk him into, and now he's finally on board with doing a cooking show because he's actually he's like a legit chef. I'm not. Brett's not. But our little group of friends, we're trying to talk him into that, and I think we're finally going to do it. So, you know, stay tuned. We just might have a show with our friend Daryl Park. Shout out to you, Daryl. Actually, we should have Daryl on the podcast. I think he'd be fun.
Yeah.
So basically right now what we're doing is, I know I usually pick topics and we talk about topics, but I mean, for now, all we're doing is
Stream of conscience.
100% stream of conscious until this whole like COVID thing is back to normal. I just want to have different people on and just talk about like, hey, how, like, what are some of the things you're going through? What are some of the things you're experiencing or that you're noticing your friends are experiencing? Or like, what is your message? If you're handling it totally cool, like we are, like, what is our message? What is your message? Like, what's your tips to people? So Brett, run with all that.
For me, I've definitely noticed that I need to work on my mental health a little bit more. Cause working and other stuff, even though I'm working from home, it's still like I don't know, something about a schedule, like helps keep things in perspective. Yeah. Like I'm lacking a schedule at the moment in the sense of where, you know, I'm still waking up roughly the same time and going to work, but I'm literally getting up from my bed and walking to my computer and clocking in, and then working. But you know, a little cabin fever here and there, but I think it's just, you have to be aware of it. And then, you know, some of my, you know, demons from yesteryear or things that I had kind of, you know, tamped down for a while have started to rear their head and have acknowledged that they're there. So it's just, you know, putting in the work and trying to figure out a way to deal with it at this time. But, you know, don't be afraid or, you know, worried if that stuff pops up. It's going to happen regardless. You know, stress brings out these type of things. And if people are stressed out, you got a lot to be stressed out about, regardless of whether or not, if it's the COVID thing or, you know, if you work in the restaurant industry, if you're working somewhere else and you got furloughed or you got laid off and, you know, you're waiting, you're unemployment, this fucking sucks. But, you know, we'll all get through it together.
But talk to somebody.
Yeah, talk
to people. I mean, I think we mentioned it last episode, but I mean, I think we were saying, you know, especially people who don't live like near us. Like, I know that Liz and Cheyenne, I think both said that they've been talking to some of their friends and family who live, you know, further away from them or whatever, more so lately than normal, because I think there's been, you know, a lot more like people are doing Zoom calls and, you know, FaceTime and whatever you have, like, or even just pick up the phone and call a friend. Oh, yeah. But definitely talk to somebody, especially if you're kind of more like sheltered alone. Like Brett and I are lucky because, you know, we're stuck in this house together with our two, you know,
lucky? No.
Unlucky. Fuck. I don't know. With our, you know,
I mean, last night I was hovering over you with a pillow.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you tried to smother me.
Yeah.
Which I might have welcomed. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Fine. Just end it all. No, definitely don't do that.
We have a dark sense of humor.
As far as friends of, you know, friends of friends, I haven't lost anyone to COVID, but, you know, I have lost a friend of a friend to depression because of the reaction to the COVID. So, I mean.
What, who?
A good friend of JB's.
Oh, from the COVID thing?
No. He killed himself.
No, I understood that when he said, but I'm saying
the straw that broke the camel's back was him being laid off again.
Oh,
he's dealt with he's had a spotty work history. He had a lot of I don't know all the details, but he had a history of addiction and some issues. Wow. And there was a lot of demons, though, so this was just kind of. But you know, there's a lot of things that the being sheltered at home, not interacting with people, maybe being laid off from your job, maybe wondering how you're going to make your next rent payment or mortgage payment is coming from. I mean, those things are all real life things, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever it is that's scaring you or worrying you, I mean, they're all real. And, you know, you could be angry at the virus or you can be angry at the government for their response to the virus. And I know I am, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to, I think we've talked about this before and we'll talk about it again, but, you know, I try to just kind of embrace take God out of it if you want, but, you know, the serenity prayer. control the things you can control, accept the things you can't, and try to be smart enough to know the difference. And
Yes.
I think that's the heart of everything. And just, take this time to, if you're at home with your family, be close to your family. If you're stuck at home with your dog or your dogs, play with your dogs, hug your dogs, give your dogs love. If you're at home with a roommate or a friend,
Make your dogs a collar.
whatever, make your dogs a collar, or maybe buy one from Brett and Tim Collar. We'll come up with a better name.
.org.net
.org.net/gov. Use promo code Project Reclamation. I don't know. Fuck it. But just do something. Yeah, like stay entertained, stay sane, and if you're bored, like I'm finding that my friends who have kids are overwhelmed because their kids are at home and they're not usually. My friends who don't have kids, they're fucking bored.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've noticed is the big difference. But if you're one of the people who are bored, or even if if you have kids that are old enough, have them learn some shit. Make them learn guitar or learn a new language or whatever. There's plenty of ways to do that at home.
Mm-hmm.
If you're bored, find something to go learn some stuff.
Try a new hobby.
Try a new hobby. Learn how to make paracord, learn how to draw, learn how to cook, or just try it. Who knows? You can't lose really. And if you want to have fun with it, go next time you go to the grocery store, wear a fucking Halloween mask. I don't know, have fun with it. Do something that entertains you. Because if going to the store and wearing a stupid Halloween mask, if that makes you kind of giggle and that makes your day, that's awesome. Do it. Yeah, just do something. Make yourself happy. And use this time to, if you're bored, call your friends. Call your friends from out of town. Call your friends from in town. Call your friend that lives down the street. Call your mom. Call your dad. Call your family. Call your grandma. That goes for me. I need to call my grandma.
I need to call my grandma.
Hardcore need to call my grandma.
I did talk to my aunt that I hadn't talked to in a long time for like an hour and a half. She called me. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up?
That's great. Yeah. Also, check this out. I don't know if I should tell this on the podcast, but I'm going to anyways. So there's a dude named Bobby Bones. He has like a kind of like a morning talk show kind of DJ country station DJ guy, but one where they do more talking than playing music. And I think he also has a podcast. He's a good dude. Anyways, his talk show is syndicated on one of the country stations in my mom's where my mom and dad live. So I guess a couple of the people on the show were talking about how they were having some trouble trouble with some of the homeschooling stuff they're having to do right now.
Yeah.
So I guess they have like an open voicemail line. So my mom called and left a message and was like, hey, if you guys need any help, I'd be happy to help. So they called her back and had her on the show.
Oh, really?
And,
That's awesome.
Interviewed her. Yeah. She talked for 5 minutes.
Is it already aired?
I'm not sure.
Was it
I'll
live?
have to find it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So so my mom was on the Bobby Bones show for 5 minutes talking mostly to I don't remember the girl's name. But yeah, and so she, gave some tips and told her whatever. So then, after the little thing with the interview thing was over, they gave her. They're like, well, to thank you for your time, we'd like to give you, I guess, Audible. They do the audiobooks.
Oh, nice.
They gave her a free year of Audible.
That's awesome.
And like a $200 and something gift card to Amazon.
Oh, it's fucking sweet.
Yeah. So. And she wasn't even looking for, she just she's a teacher. So for those of you who don't know or don't remember, she's a teacher. Oh, so she was just trying to be helpful. Cause she's like, hey, if you guys are having problems, I have insight and I probably have some time. Maybe I'm kind of bored.
I think it would be cool if they left her number, if she called back, if they wanted, cause I feel like it's going to be a recurring issue. Like if people would call in with questions and then they could do like a couple minute answer thing and she could just answer like, oh yeah, hey, try the X, Y, and Z. I feel like that'd be really cool.
You know what? I was trying to think about how this would work, and maybe this would be a good way to do it. But doing I used to do like the, Motivation Mondays and Tips and Tricks Tuesdays and all that. And we haven't been doing them lately.
Oh, have your mom do an educational.
Well,
whatever.
just have maybe not daily, but just different different segments, educational clip.
Yeah,
how to teach your kids. Here's a little, and that way, I'm gonna have to put some thought into that. But that might be a good one.
Yeah.
Like how to do some stuff.
Is your mom she's doing all her stuff by Zoom now, right?
I think it's all Zoom.
Yeah. It's
Zoom, and then I think they have some virtual classroom where they can log on and they have assignments and stuff, but that's more like a forum or it's not like a live back and forth. But then I think they have been doing some Zoom stuff. And our neighbor, the yoga teacher with your kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was talking about how they've been doing Zoom and stuff.
Oh, Zoom yoga. Nice.
No. She's a teacher.
Oh,
too.
I didn't know she was a teacher.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, she's like, no, it's really cool, but she goes, it's kind of hard because the kids, a lot of them, like, they don't have, like, their social lives are like, they're used to playing with all their friends every fucking day.
Oh yeah.
So she's like, a lot of them just see it like once they get on and there's all their friends on there, they just want it social hour. Yeah. So they don't want to learn, they just want to socialize. So she's like, it's cool, but it's also kind of tough, but I get it.
I wonder if Zoom has made settings for like classroom settings. So like all the kids are on mute.
Well, if you're the administrator of a Zoom call, you can mute mute people. Yeah, you can mute people.
Not to mention, I can only imagine it's not only hard on the kids but the distractions around your house, because there's like, I'm assuming they're probably doing this in their room, their table. I guess if their parents are around to keep them in check. But I mean, like, oh, I can go play Fortnite while I do that. Yeah, just like.
Well, and then I would imagine too, if they're on the video thing, like you as a teacher, I feel like you'd really have to like make sure none of the kids have anything like damning in the background.
Yeah,
because like I was telling you, like I was telling you this earlier. Like I'll tell it again. I was on we have a Stella Artois box. It was a case of beer. It's literally like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I was using it for.
I got it from the recycling bin at our complex to use it.
Yeah. I don't even think we drank that beer.
No, it was the box.
So I was literally using it because I was trying to make a stand to do like a FaceTime call or something stupid, like a WhatsApp call. And I was trying to get my phone because it was some app I couldn't do on my laptop because I have my laptop all set up. So for video calls and stuff, but I had to do a call for my phone for some interview or something. So I was using that box to try and make something so that my phone was like the right angle. So, whatever. I was trying to make myself look good on this thing. And so anyway, so I just have this random, like, I never got rid of it because it's like a nice, like, it's like a thick box. So it's like I feel like it's good for something. And I think we've used it for like, as like a box to like take pictures. Cause you and I have both taken some pictures.
I haven't used it for photos.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, maybe I just should have thrown it away a long time ago.
Probably.
Doesn't matter. The point is, I have a little mini fridge in my office, and it's literally just been sitting on top of that mini fridge for, I don't know, probably years. And I was on a WebEx call with my team for work. So, a bunch of people that work for me, and I had to get up to go. I don't know. I think it was scold Paige for something, or Jax was barking at someone, who knows. So then I come back and they're like, so we saw that case of beer you have in the background.
It's empty.
I was like, what are you talking about?
My housemate got it from
they're like, the Stella. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just the box. It's empty. It's been there for years. I don't know what to tell you guys. And they're like, yeah, sure it is. Tim's drinking early.
You're an alcoholic.
Our boss is an alcoholic. I'm like, yeah, no, that beer's been
you have problems. Oh.
That's probably true, but no, the beer's been empty for ages. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for listening. I think that's pretty much all. We talked about a lot of nothing, but hopefully we gave you guys some ideas. Try new things, watch new shows, learn new things, listen to new podcasts, do something. You know what? Stay sane. Try to stay happy. Stay positive. And you know what? If there's anything you're doing, whether it's looking up conspiracy theories, watching the news, if something is stressing you out and it's something you can't control,
walk away.
Get rid of it. Just turn it off. Fuck it. Do so, and then go do something that makes you happy. Go pot a plant.
Yeah.
Go plant a
Try
thing,
gardening.
Yeah.
Try making your own sourdough starter.
There you go.
Do it.
Or try making kimchi. Or try making spicy fermented carrots.
Yeah.
Or try cooking a pork loin or a pork butt in a slow cooker.
Yeah.
Because we've done that multiple times in the last few weeks, and it's amazing.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's it. Also, fun tip. If you have these in your area and you're willing to go to them, I highly recommend going to an Asian market.
Oh, yes.
Asian markets are the shit. First of all, they're fully well stocked. Second of all, the people that work there wear gloves and masks all the time, no matter if there's a pandemic or not. So I think everything's very clean there. But yes, they have all the food you could possibly want fully stocked. Brett and I just went to Ralph's, and like there was literally no ramen except for the Asian brand, the soy sauce flavor, and the shrimp flavor.
And let's be honest, their selection of ramens are terrible.
Oh,
go
100%.
To you want shit that you've never heard of. You go to an Asian market.
Dude, they have a whole
aisle. They have a whole aisle of anything you
And
can
you can
want,
get
and it's not
pho.
even in English, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and then Brett and I walked down the snack aisle, and I'm like, Brett, I can't read anything. He goes, that's the whole point.
That's the
Just
fun.
pick something, and I'm like, well, I want this one. He's like, no, there's English writing on that. You can't pick that one. You have to pick one that doesn't have English writing. So yeah, the Asian markets, and dude, the meat you can get. First of all, even if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, they have meat that you can't get at the other stores, like just cuts of meat and different stuff. And the prices are great.
Yeah.
And the food
They had
is amazing. The quality is amazing.
I remember we went to 99 Ranch and they had frozen ducks, but they also had fresh whole ducks, head included, for like $12. I'm just like, I kind of want to just buy this for the shit of it.
And they had whole rabbits. I wanted to get the rabbit because I'm like, hey, it might come down to where we have to go hunt rabbits with my 22 and we have to learn how to cook these goddamn things, Brett. So
we also had goat testicles and other random things if you want to try those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Oh, and if you've ever been to one of those Mongolian restaurants where you pick all the frozen cuts of meat and vegetables and you put them in a bowl.
Korean barbecue.
Well, Korean is where you cook it yourself.
Yeah.
So that too, but then Mongolian is where
Hot pot.
you take all the frozen stuff and you put it in a bowl and you give it to them and they cook it on a flat top.
Oh, I've never done that.
I believe
one.
that's the difference. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Send me your hate mail at projectxreclamation@gmail.com. However, all of those cool little frozen, like thinly sliced, they're thinly sliced, and then they're frozen. They're frozen kind of usually in like
they're pre-cut for like
kind
hot
of a
pot
rolled
and,
up cold cut.
Yeah.
Yes, but some of these cuts are amazing, and they have all of them at Ranch 90. Is it 99 Ranch or Ranch
99 Ranch? If you're in the San Diego area and listening to this, there's Zion, great little one. H Mart is amazing. It's a Korean there's two. The new one that opened up is off of Balboa, down the street from Convoy, and that I think has only been open for, I don't think it's even been a year yet, but it is goddamn gorgeous supermarket, and they got all the things like a billion different kinds of kimchi, a billion different types of like marinated meats,
a whole aisle of different kimchi.
Oh yeah, a whole freezer aisle of buns.
Oh, by the way, and pork buns, amazing.
and dumplings and everything. You know, they have a really great seafood area. They had like live gooey duck plans, live shrimp where you never fucking see live shrimp. They have live shrimp. And other like live
fish,
like
big ass fish swimming around. You're like,
it's great.
I want that sea bass, or whatever it is. I don't know if there was actually a sea bass.
Don't be afraid to check out your local Asian market or Middle Eastern market culture market.
Cuban market. If you're in San Diego, there's a Cuban restaurant called Andres. They're delicious and they're doing takeout right now. I recommend supporting them. But next to the restaurant, they have Andres Market, and it's a Cuban market, and they have. If you're a fan of yerba mate, which I am, I love my loose leaf tea, and they have an entire it's not even a big store, but they have a whole aisle of yerba mate, plus a bunch of like crazy Cuban spices that you can't even buy at a normal store. And they had like all these dry goods that are all gone at normal stores like Ralph's and stuff, but they had like all these, like I bought like a 6-pound bag of jasmine rice. Delicious. Fucking delicious.
Yeah. Everywhere else where Vons, Ralph's were like like bread and rice are all gone. I think they've kind of started getting a little bit better on that, but still some of it's sparse.
I think we're back, but I think this is a good time to go check these out.
Just do it, man. Try something new.
You know, and it's funny. I learned this from my buddy who owns our buddy who owns a vape shop, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you should go to the Asian markets. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to, and I Brett, you've gone for years. But I was like, you know what? F that. I'm gonna go to Zion. So I went to Zion. And it was an experience for me. I was like, they have everything here, and oh my god, I love pho. So I bought some like raw, you know, like you're not top ramen because it was more of like a instant, like what do you call that?
Cup of noodles.
Cup of noodles.
Yeah.
Cup of noodle style.
But
where
like
it's in
good.
But it was pho, and it was cup of noodle style pho, and I love pho. And like, granted, this wasn't quite restaurant, but hey, but as far as something I just made in 3 minutes in my microwave, it was amazing. And like pho and ramen, and you know what? You get the instant stuff, and then just go look online and figure out how to dress it up. Because like you have like, even if you just have your literally top ramen, you make that in like, you know, a pot. You can add like a soft boiled egg, or even just throw in a raw egg and then mix that around. And you could like throw in some. You can dress up shitty ramen and make it really bomb.
There's a book, I think it's called Prison Ramen. I need to get it. Just like, I don't know if I'd ever try any of the recipes, but I just think it's hilarious. So it's basically because where cigarettes used to be the currency of prisons, it is now ramen. Like
So funny
that
you
bag
mentioned
of
that.
instant ramen.
If you're into comedies, another thing you need to do, go catch up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine because that show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But there was a
scene, yeah. No,
where,
that's true.
Jake
That is
Jake
true.
Peralta, who's played by Andy Samberg, the main character, and I think he's the writer and producer as well.
Yeah.
He goes to prison for a while because he gets framed for something,
Yeah.
and until they get him out, he has to be in. And 100%, the
'cause
currency was
I don't-
ramen, and it was Lou Diamond Phillips. He was like the gang leader. He was like, "No, man, I want that." It was some flavor. He's
Korean
like, we can't-
barbecue
we can't
beef
get the
or what-
Korean beef barbecue flavor in here. You got to get me that. You get me that, and then we're good.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
But yeah, no. So this whole book is basically taking recipes from prisoners and to make their ramen better, and like it's all this like crazy shit you can do to it. It's called Prison Ramen. Look it up. I haven't bought. I need to get it just for. It's one of those like cookbooks I just want just because it's absurd.
Well, and then back to another shout out to Sam the cooking guy. One of his Lockdown Munchies episode is about ramen and how to do different things with ramen. So he makes like a ramen stir fry and some other ramen stuff. And he takes ramen and he makes fettuccine Alfredo with ramen. Nice. But the cool thing is for all of his Lockdown Munchies episodes, he picks his staples. So maybe it's chicken one episode, it's ground beef another episode, it's eggs, I think it's potatoes, it's ramen. So he takes that main staple and then all the other ingredients he uses are things you probably have in your fridge or your pantry. So that's the coolest thing about his Lockdown Munchies episodes. But yeah, go learn something new. Go do something that makes you happy. Go learn a new skill. Have fun. Do something cool. Because you know what? There's nothing else to do. And you could sit around and drive yourself crazy, but why?
Exactly.
Why would you do that? Do something cool. Have fun.
Go to that Asian market.
Go to the Asian market. Go
grab
check it out.
grab that bag of snacks you can't read shit on.
Yeah.
And just try it.
And maybe it's weird. You know what? If you like any kind of ramen or any kind of noodles, go check it out because they have flavors you have never even heard of before. I discovered kimchi flavored ramen. That shit is delicious. So delicious. And the Asians, when they say something spicy, that's much more believable than when normal things say they're spicy.
Yeah. Anytime I see something that says spicy and like a Ralph's, I'm just like, sure it is. And I try it, and 99% of the time I'm wrong. There's only been one or two instances where I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is spicy.
You found like some ghost pepper potato chips once that were pretty good.
Yeah, I forget what they were. They're like, I think they're called Mayan something. I haven't seen them in a while. And then there's another one where they're actually pretty spicy too. But that's, like I said, far few between. If you want the good shit, go to an Asian market.
Or maybe your whole thing right now is you're like, you know what? I've been watching Hot Ones because Tim told me to, but my tolerance for hot sauce is really bad. So maybe take this time and just add a little bit more or a little bit hotter hot sauce to your food every day and build up your tolerance.
Yeah.
Just, find a stupid little goal. Pick a hobby. Pick something. Do something to make yourself a little bit more productive or a little bit happier. And then, like I said, go hang out with your dogs, spend time with your family, call your friends, call your mom, call your grandma. Tim, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. Whatever. Anyways, that's all I got, man. Brett, final thoughts.
That's all I got. I don't know. Be safe out there.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're all going to get through it.
We'll be fine.
And everything will be okay. I mean, shit seems like it's terrible now, but
And when you're out, be cool.
Yeah.
Be good. Be nice.
Yeah.
Say hi to people. Ask them how they're doing. And you know what? If you're calling people for business and you're still trying to sell people shit, like my company is, like maybe lead with, how are you doing? How's everything going?
How goes it?
Are you doing all right? Just take a minute, take a step back for yourself, for your own sanity, but also for other people. And then if you do go to the grocery store, which you probably have to, or you have to go anywhere, you go to the Home Depot, or you know what? Staples is a really fun place to go because nobody's there and you can go shop for 3 hours at the fucking office goods store. And I could buy all kinds I spent $200 at Staples a week ago because I was like, well, I'm going to reorganize my files and do this and do that. I mean, granted, probably half of that was ink for my fucking printer, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is when you're out, when you are interacting with people you see on the street, be extra nice because people are weird right now. People are different. People are a little bit scared. So if you're in a place where you're not panicking, then try to project that calmness to other people and just be nice to people.
And be extra nice and thoughtful to the people at the grocery store and the people who are still working because
100%.
They still got to do their job and everyone's doing, while people are working from home or doing this and being in the shit. So be extra nice to them.
Yeah.
and say thank you.
Just say thank you.
Just say thank you.
Yeah.
And if they're out of something that you wanted, don't be mad. Just be like, oh, no worries. I'll try and get it next time.
Yeah. Or ask them. Be like, hey, you know what? I would really like your help. You're all out of ramen. Like, do you have any other ideas of what I could get if I was in the mood for ramen? They might have they're probably kind of bored sometimes because sometimes they're busy, but sometimes they're not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just be nice. Instill some humanity upon other people, and you'll feel more human yourself. And I think being kind to others will help you feel better. So if you're only doing it for selfish reasons, that's okay because you're still helping other people. Mm-hmm. So that's all I got. Stay healthy.
On that note,
stay safe. Be kind, as JB would say.
Yes.
Be good.
Be good. Be kind. Rewind.
Yes, always rewind.
Always rewind.
That's such a thing. It doesn't even make sense anymore.
I know, it doesn't anymore.
That's all we got.
Blockbuster.
Thank you all. Thank you for listening. For all of you in general, and especially you iTunes people, thanks for putting up with my bullshit lately. I'll try to get it all ironed out so it's not an issue anymore. But thank you again. We love you guys. Thank you for being part of the Reclination. Thank you to Podbelly Podcast Network. Go check it out, podbelly.com. Thank you again for our last episode with the wonderful ladies from We're Not Sure Yet podcast. Go check them out. They're also, you know what? Just go check out everything on podbelly.com. It's probably the shit and the best place to go. That's it. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.